Welcome back once again to the Simple Series. Today we are looking at the Simple 2960 Tomodachi Series. A simple series even, for the Game Boy Advance, if you would believe it. Now, you would think for a publisher like D3 Publisher, making games for the Game Boy Advance is a surefire win, right? You know, it's in 2D, easy peasy, lemon squeezy, easy games, right? Easy games to make. But no, apparently not, because they only made 4. So either it was incredibly unpopular in Japan for the Game Boy Advance, or it was harder than they thought for making games for the Game Boy Advance. I don't know, but they only had 4 games released, and we're going to be having a look at those 4 games now. 2 of those games got released in the West, exclusively in Europe, while the other 2 remained Japanese exclusives. Anyway, let's jump right in to the Simple 2960 Tomodachi series, because of course it's got to have a name like that. First up to the table, like any single Simple series, we have the Table Game Collection, Volume 1 of the Simple 2960 Tomodachi series. Now, it starts off with a cutesy girl menu, and then you go straight into picking your character once you pick the game. I personally chose Busujima from Bloody Roar, because that's what he kind of looks like to me, but yeah. And then you move into the game itself. Now, this portable table game collection has 4 games to pick from. You have Riichi-style Mahjong, a staple of the Simple series. You have Shogi, which I chose not to play because, again, I don't know how to play it. Whereas Riichi Mahjong, I'm getting better, especially with Clubhouse Games on the Switch. I'm getting much better understanding of how to play the game. You've got Reversi, I think it's Reversi, or the Gomoku Narabe, one of the two. I think it's the Gomoku Narabe, I think. And then finally you got Hanafuda. So yeah, and how does the games play? Well, the Riichi Mahjong's pretty decent, if I be completely honest. It's actually kind of cool to have something like this on the go. If I had a choice of a Game Boy Advance Riichi Mahjong game, I'd personally go with Akagi, because at least then I'd have the interesting facial expressions when something happens. Don't get me wrong, you still have that here. Like in here, I managed to pull a Riichi and sumo this boy. Got myself a decent points there. See, I'm getting better at learning how to play Mahjong. And look, watch this. Wait for it. Boom! There you go. See, so you do get a cool little facial expressions going along as well. Here we have me playing Gomoku Narabe, I think it is, against some kind of alien. That's another thing about this game. The characters that you can... it's not... Your character is just a silhouette, right? You just saw it just now with the smiley face. It's a silhouette, right? But the characters you can go up against are kind of like varied, all over the place. Like I'm playing against this alien here. It's really, really strange. Anyway, and then finally here we have Hanafuda, which again plays exactly like Hanafuda, which I'm still not massively familiar on the rules of Hanafuda. Don't get me wrong, I didn't do terribly. I did win a few hands. I tend to know as long as I get Moon, then I generally speaking am going to win. Because once you got the Moon's card, like here, look, it's in my hand. That's just perfect. You know, try and pair that up as best you can. You have a high chance of winning there. So yes, the table game collection for the Game Boy Advance, not too bad. Back then, when this game came out in 2003, yep, 2003. You know, you didn't have smartphones. You could play games like this. So having a collection of 4 classic board games to play on your on the go was a really cool thing, and I think it's yeah, it's definitely something that's worth what it was in its time. On the other hand, though, in case you're wondering about the 2960, that's how much the game cost in yen. Now that's a fucking atrocity in itself. You're overcharging for this game, seriously overcharging. Next up, we have another staple of the Simple series, the block Kuzushi, Volume 2. Also known as, wait for it, Brick'em All in Europe. Yeah, it's Breakout. It's literally Breakout, you know, or the block Kuzushi as it's called, right? It's really simple. If you want to play Breakout on the go, here you go. It's not great, don't get me wrong. It's literally like the bare minimum of what to expect from a block Kuzushi game, which makes me laugh, because you think, like, look at this, right? You think they would have some kind of innovation here? They would, I don't know, add something. like Beta Block. You ever play Beta Block on the PlayStation 2 or on the PSP? You know, I hadn't played the game, but I had a look at the game because of the Simple 2000 series. I'm hoping to play the game as part of when I have a look at the PSP Simple Series games. It looks like it's just, at least it's trying something different. You know what I mean? But with this, it's just the same old. You know, it's Breakout. It plays like Breakout. It doesn't add anything new to the. It doesn't bring anything new to the table. So yeah, and that's all I have to say about it. There's nothing else really to say. This is developed by Access, which is the developer of 3 out of the 4 of these simple 2960 Tomodachi games. Yeah, they developed 3 out of the 4 games. This Volume 3 was developed by B-Works, a completely different developer, whereas Volumes 1, 2, and 4 were done by Access. I want to insinuate again, well, not insinuate, or maybe I guess make it known how much these games actually cost. Maybe the yen was slightly less back then, but in today's money, if you're charging 2,960 yen for a game, it's around about, in terms of pounds, just over 22 pounds. If I did that in dollar, like if I did that in USD, let's have a look. Let's say 29.60. I didn't have it open. You're looking at about $27, $27.50. That's a lot. That's a lot for one of these types of games, if I be honest. Anyway, that's all I got to say about Breakout, the block Kuzushi. It's pretty basic. Let's move on to the next game. Next up, we have the most unique game of the collection, at least in my opinion. Because look, it's even got its own story going on as well, to do with, I guess, witches, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, this is Volume 3 of the Simple 2960 Tomodachi series, the Itsudemo puzzle Masugu Sorete Straws. Yeah, it's also got a really long name for some strange reason. This is the one developed by B-Works. And believe it or not, here we go. Ready for it? Boom! You know what this is? I'm going to just sit here for a minute and just, well, not a minute, but sit here for a couple of seconds, see if you can figure this out. Because guess what? I couldn't. Okay, in all fairness, I did kind of figure out what you're supposed to do. It's a puzzle game where you're supposed to basically match the stars up in a certain pattern. Like here, it's diagonally, you set it horizontally, vertically, whatever. But you got to match them like that. And the more you can do within the time frame, the better the combo. But the problem is you have other lines of stars that are in your way, so to say. And yeah, it's, if I be completely honest, not really my thing, but as a puzzle game, at least it's something different, at least it's something interesting. Don't get me wrong, you know what I mean? At least it's something interesting. On that regard, I gotta give it credit where credit is due. That's not too bad, but I didn't get very far in the game. I didn't do very well in the game. Again, it's not my type of game. I'm not really into these puzzle games, if I be honest. But yeah, it's, I guess okay. I guess it would be, if this was your type of puzzle game, this would be a good time waster to play while you're on the move, when you're on the go, in the long car journeys, you know? And here is the final game of this collection. Volume 4 of the Simple 2960 Tomodachi series, known as The Trump Mina di Asuberu 12 Shuri no Trump Gameu. I guess the 12 would be Chuni, I guess, if in Japanese, right? So basically, it's 12 different card games in one bundle, I guess. It was released in Europe. It's the only other game that was released in Europe by 505 Games. It was released as Funny Cards in Europe, because that's a great title, Funny Cards. I don't know. It's got funny characters you can pick from, I guess. That's the only funny thing. Like, there's a Kappa, for example. You know, that's the only funny thing. Rockman there, and a dog, and a king, I guess. That's the only funny part about this, I guess. But I don't know why it would be called Funny Cards. In terms of how it plays, it's fine. It's fine. It's a card, you know, for a collection of 12 card games, it's absolutely fine. At the moment here, I'm playing, I believe, to be what's similar to Go Fish, I think. I think that's what it is. Or we're just swapping cards, one of the two, either way. But don't get me wrong, you got stuff like Jim Rummy in here. You got, I believe, 21s in here somewhere. You know, standard stuff. But that's all I really have to say about this game. Again, it's pretty standard. And I guess for, again, long car journeys, as it's probably going to be marketed towards, or something that you wanted to play during your lunchtime. If you're a Japanese businessman, I guess it's fine. Fine for a little portable game. So yeah. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. There is the 4 simple 2960 Tomodachi series. I have no clue, like I said before, why this failed. It obviously did fail because they only had 4 games for it, right? They could have kept it going quite easily. But no, they either chose not to, or it just didn't do very well. Maybe if they picked some better choices for games, I don't know. In my opinion, I think they did pretty well in terms of picking what games to do. They just went with like classics. Block Kuzushi's a classic. The table game collection, that's the classic. The card games, funny cards, the Trump, it's a classic, Classic staple of the Simple series, right? But obviously it wasn't received very well. Obviously something obviously didn't go as well as they hoped. And they decided, no, we're not going to make it. It's going to go 4 volumes and that's it. Maybe they planned 4 volumes. Who knows? Anyway, my favorite game of this collection is probably the first one, the table game collection. It's got Riichi Mahjong. That's what I'd be playing on the go if I'd be completely honest. Trying to get better at the game. But yeah, not too bad of a collection of games for the Game Boy Advance. Anyway, I've been Bio. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and comment. Have you played these games? Let me know. What do you think of these games, right? Just let me know in the comments. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.